Hello. I muted myself accidentally. Hello, friend. And welcome back. My name is Kailee.
My name is Logan.
And we don't know what we're doing. Obviously, I don't because I muted myself.
Yeah.
But hey, we're doing our best.
Yeah.
We're out here.
And I don't think we're alone. I think there's other people out there that also don't really know what they're doing.
You know what? I would be willing to conjecture that nobody, in fact, knows what they're doing.
Whoa. Whoa.
Some people are just better at hiding it than others, but
like Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, that man hasn't got a clue, but he's got the money to hide that.
Yeah. Well, he knows what he's doing with the taxes, though.
By evading them?
Yeah, he just takes out loans and then pays the loans with more loans.
Oh my gosh. How is he the richest man on earth?
I don't know.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. But anywho, so the title of this episode is gonna be a fun one, y'all.
Yep.
Obviously, if you clicked on the episode, you know that this specific show is called Ethical Dilemma. So
at least it should be by the time we upload this.
At least this should be.
It better be.
We might change our minds, honestly. Yeah. And if we change it, then I'll feel a little bit silly for saying this, and then you can come at me in the comments for me being silly. But
future me, don't change it. Keep it.
Future editing Logan, don't change it.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about some not like heavier things, but just some topics that like they're ethical dilemmas. They're good. They're gonna make you think about things that you're probably not gonna be comfortable thinking about.
Yeah, we're not gonna really go too much into detail. We're just kind of gonna present them and then kind of talk about them a little bit. But they are some things that will make you think, use your brain a bit. So
hopefully,
yeah, because we don't want to cause controversy and whatnot.
No. But then we had the whole spontaneously improv religion episode, so
yeah,
who knows?
That's fine though. Because this one might be a little bit more on the political side.
Yeah, definitely a little bit more constitution-y.
My rights.
Constitutional. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a poli-sci degree. So yeah, but before we get into all of that stuff, I think we all owe a very special lady out there a very, very huge thank you. Miss Taylor Allison Swift, thank you for taking the Chiefs to the Super Bowl. It's all you, babe. All you.
Yep.
Definitely not anyone on the team. Just Taylor.
Yep. Taylor Swift
makes
the
whole
refs.
place shimmer. No, she's just a good luck charm.
Yeah.
But probably paid the refs a little bit. Let's be real.
Maybe.
But yeah, I was super excited when I saw that. I honestly, in the beginning, I was kind of indifferent about Taylor and Travis. I didn't really care. Honestly, I still think she could do better because he's an NFL player and she's the most brilliant, beautiful woman in the world. And I'm very biased, but whatever.
Yeah, but they're cute together.
They're cute together. It's very Americana. Yeah. It's really giving just a simple, wholesome relationship. He's obviously so in love with her, and it's nice because I think he's just actually a good guy for once.
He is. He's cool.
He's cool. He's just a sweetheart.
Yeah. He also has a podcast with his brother.
His brother. Yeah, I was gonna say.
They're both cool.
I looked on Jason Kelsey's Instagram, or Kelsey. I don't know how to say the last name.
Kelsey.
It is Kelsey for sure.
Well, everyone pronounces it as Kelsey. That's how it's pronounced. But I think he mentioned something in his podcast, I think, where his dad or grandpa changed the pronunciation of it. I don't know.
That's interesting.
But yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So that means for the big game on February 11th, it's the Chiefs versus the 49ers. Yep. Red versus red.
Yep. So Chiefs will be wearing red. 49ers will be wearing white.
Hopefully that helps you keep them straight.
Yep. 49ers also have Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy, nice.
Who I think he's in his like second or third year of quarterback now.
Huh.
And he was last draft pick in his draft class. He was Mr. Irrelevant.
Damn. Dang.
So, but we've also seen this exact Super Bowl before fairly recently.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
What year was that? Like
2020.
2020? Yeah, I remember that.
Where the election was also between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. We
should put Trump and Biden in the Super Bowl and then see what happens.
Whoever wins gets to go to a nursing home.
Whoever survives goes to a nursing home. Whoever
the loser
dies
gets left on the field.
The loser gets buried in the field. Let's be real. The winner goes to assisted living. The loser goes to a casket.
Wow, that's
sorry.
Dark.
That's a little crazy. Sorry, that's not the ethical dilemma.
Not yet.
Not yet. What?
Oh boy.
So Logan, going into next Sunday, who are you rooting for?
Well,
Mr. I live in Kansas.
By the time this gets uploaded, the Super Bowl will be in like 2 days.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
I got ahead of myself.
I'm rooting for the Chiefs because it's the Chiefs. I do want to see them become that dynasty, but also I get why people don't like them because people don't want to have dynasties in the NFL. They want it to be fair between all the different teams.
Everyone loves an underdog.
Yep, everyone loves underdogs, and they don't want just one team to always dominate, which is understandable, especially when your main team hasn't been in the playoffs for a long time, or they've never won a Super Bowl, like the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
And then the 49ers, I do want Brock Purdy to succeed. I want him to have a really good game. But I don't know if he's actually going to be at the level of Mahomes yet because of how new he is. He is very good.
But
I don't know. And the 49ers did have a bit of a rough spot in the regular season. The Chiefs also did, but it was mainly because of a certain wide receiver that didn't catch like hardly anything. And he's not playing.
Dang.
So, yeah. Plus, I also kind of want the Chiefs to win just so I can hear Mahomes in his Kermit voice.
His Kermit voice?
Yeah.
What?
He sounds like Kermit the Frog.
Oh wait, yeah, he does. That's true. I'm looking through a list of all of the halftime shows, and like, some of these are nuts. Some of these are actually insane.
Yeah. This year is going to be Usher.
I was going to ask it. I haven't gotten to 2024 yet. So it's Usher.
And I think Reba is doing the anthem. Reba?
Oh my God. I'm going to cry.
Think. And then there's one other.
I forgot Maroon 5 did 2019.
Yeah, they did.
The Weeknd's show was so good.
That one was.
That was so good.
The one part where he was in the maze was a little weird, though.
Yeah. Yeah. So far, the Wikipedia page just says Usher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pre-game music from Reba, Post Malone, and Andra Day.
Post Malone and Andra Day.
And Reba.
And Reba. Did you see that NBC is they piloted a third sitcom with Reba and NBC picked it up? Why? I don't know.
I feel like the sitcom with Reba is doomed to fail.
I know. Like the OG one was really good.
Yeah.
The second one was okay.
I don't think a third one's going to work though.
No. So the plot is that her dad passes away and he leaves her and her stepsister, who she never met, equal shares in his restaurant. So now Reba has to manage this restaurant with the stepsister that she's never met.
Huh.
Has potential.
Yeah. So Reba will be doing the national anthem. Post Malone will be doing America the Beautiful.
That's freaking awesome.
And then Andre Day is going to be doing Lift Every Voice and Sing, which, if you didn't know, that was, I believe that's the Black national anthem, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. I feel like eventually one of the Super Bowl halftime shows is going to be an AI version of a deceased singer.
That would be cool. Like the holograms.
Mm-hmm. Like they bring back Michael Jackson or something.
Uh-huh. Because ABBA has been using holograms for at least a couple of years when they've done their tours.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think, because I feel like that did happen at a halftime show one year. Let me do a quick Google search.
Like a hologram type thing?
Yeah. It was 2018 with Prince.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that Prince had like just died recently before that. They were doing like a, not like an homage, but like a, almost like a dedicated the halftime show to him, because it was also in Minnesota that year, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like where he was from. Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. I think they used drones and stuff too.
Yeah. I miss Prince. I love Prince.
Yeah.
That makes me really sad.
Yeah. Like imagine if they use like AI or something to essentially bring back like Michael Jackson and Elvis and have this crazy halftime show with all these like deceased singers.
They bring back half of the Beatles.
Yeah.
And 3/4 of the Monkees. That would be crazy.
Rap battle between the Beatles and the Monkees.
Oh my god, who would win?
Neither.
It's a tie because they're the same freaking thing.
Yep.
I always said that I liked the Monkees better than the Beatles, which I think is like, I think it's still true.
Yeah.
Just because I love the show so much.
Mm-hmm. The show was good.
The show is really good.
They should make a new one.
Like a new Monkees?
Yeah.
With like 4 new guys?
Yeah.
Like a reboot?
Mm-hmm.
See, that kind of is like...
But I feel like it might like take away from like the original legacy.
Yeah, I feel like you can't beat the original 4. They were just the perfect guys to just randomly show up at some crappy ass auditions in the crappy part of LA.
Yeah. I think if they did something similar when something like One Direction was a thing, I think it would have worked then. Yeah.
This is, I think, my favorite not my favorite Monkees fact, but one of them is that Garfunkel from Simon and Garfunkel auditioned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he did not get casted, but he knew Peter Tork, so he told Peter to audition.
Huh.
And then Peter got casted because he knew Garfunkel. And Mike Nesmith was doing like laundry at the laundromat like up to like 10 minutes before his audition. So he literally like was carrying his freaking laundry sack in with him and just like had his laundry there when he was doing his test tape. I know a lot of Monkees facts. I know a lot of Beatles. I just know a lot of really weird facts.
Yeah.
I think from the ages of like 10 to like 17, 18, I like exclusively listened to ABBA, the Monkees, and the Beatles. Just those 3.
Yeah.
That was insane. You know what's really great? The segue. I think it's so amazing that they let a 3.5-year-old monster have a Twitter account.
What? Who would do such a thing?
3.5. Elmo's parents, apparently. They're exploiting the child actor, and he's gonna grow up and write a scathing memoir a la Jeanette Curdy. Or Jeanette McCurdy. Or he's gonna go the Amanda Bynes route. I don't know, but...
Wait a minute. You're telling me Elmo's an iPad kid?
Hate to break it to you.
I can't believe this.
So, on January 29th, 2024, Elmo and his sweet, childlike innocence. He's been on Twitter since 2012, by the way, which is crazy. But anyway, he tweets, Elmo is just checking in. How is everybody doing? That tweet has 185 million impressions and 15,000 comments of people trauma dumping to Elmo. It's to the point where the official Sesame Street page had to step in and share mental health resources with all of the distraught Twitter users.
I mean, if you're on Twitter in the first place.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking now. Like, Elmo kind of made a mistake.
Yeah.
Because if he didn't, because, like, the audience that uses Twitter now is not the audience that used Twitter in 2012.
No.
Twitter is... why am I blanking on the D word? Twitter is for the incels.
Dysentery.
Right? Twitter is for Twitter the personified dysentery.
Yes.
Twitter is dysentery.
It's a disease.
Honestly, I'm surprised Elmo did not get quote tweeted soft core porn. Core porn. They let that on Twitter now.
Yeah. Like if you go in the comments on like any tweet now, it's just there. There's awful.
You're gonna see somebody's butthole.
Yeah.
On Twitter. But yeah, the internet, Elmo broke the internet today just by asking us how we're doing.
Yep.
Which is
think
like...
that sums up 2024 pretty good.
It's been a month.
Yep.
It has been 31 days, and the internet is on its knees crying because Elmo asked us how we're doing. It's like all of the memes where, like... where you break down, like you're bottling everything up and then you break down when someone asks you how you're doing. Like that literally happened in these Twitter comments.
The president of the United States also kind of got in a little bit on it.
Which is like so bogus because he's just trying to ride Elmo's clout.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a crap.
He's just trying to promote like mental health stuff.
He's trying to promote his re-election.
It's
be real.
Yeah. And like most of the comments aren't is like, sir, you're the reason we're trauma dumping on Elmo.
Like, sir, this is your fault.
Like, you know how you said that if Trump got reelected, he would start wars in the Middle East, right?
Oh, shit. Oh, shoot. Dang it. Logan's dad, if you're listening, I'm so sorry. Spark HD, if you're listening, I'm so sorry. January 26th, Elmo tweeted, Elmo hopes this post finds you well. That's the grading I use in all of my email.
I hope this email finds you well.
It has not, Elmo. This tweet has not found me well.
It has found me in the side of a ditch.
It has found me in the depths of despair.
In the back of a Domino's pizzeria.
In a dumpster in the back of a Panda Express. But at least I got Rangoons.
Inside of a Little Caesars.
Oh, it is Elmo's birthday today?
When is Elmo's birthday?
I guess it's today. But Elmo didn't tweet about his birthday at all.
What? Oh, February 3rd.
Oh, okay, there we go. Panic attack over.
But he's perpetually 3.5 years old.
Oh, maybe it's like a leap year.
It is a leap year.
It's a leap. I was just taking it. What? That really is a leap year?
Yeah, there's 29 days in February.
That is messed up to the max, dude. That's crazy.
It's almost like it was a leap year in 2020 as well.
I don't remember anything from 2020.
The Super Bowl was also between the Kansas City Chiefs and the 49ers.
The leap year prophecy.
The election was between Donald Trump and Joe Biden.
Oh my god.
Please,
the 2024 election.
March, don't do anything, please.
March, please be chill.
March 13th,
no
you better
new
not.
diseases, please. Oh my god. Do not ruin my non-existent St. Patrick's Day plan.
We're not here for round 2.
Nope.
But it's kind of crazy how 2016 was when this all started with the death of Harambe.
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about? Rip Harambe.
Yeah.
Man, I can't believe Harambe really he did this to him. Why would he leave us on Earth in this hellscape?
I know. He was holding it all back.
Oh my god. He was fighting Thanos. Thanos won. Thanos in the form of a tranquilizer at the Cincinnati Zoo.
It was a bullet.
Oh, wait, that's true. Let me deliver that again.
Yeah. Should have just been a trank.
Should have just been a drink. That reminds me of a really weird encounter from when I worked at Olivet. And I worked in career development, and part of my job was to help facilitate like mock interviews. So like students could come in and schedule a mock interview, and then we'd like pretend to be like employers and whatever. And one time we had an interview with a kid who was a zoology major. And the director of career development asked him what he would do if if a gorilla got out of the cage and she name dropped the Cincinnati Zoo, and I was just like, my jaw just dropped, and I was like, does she know what she's talking about? And
apparently
I asked
not.
her later.
He didn't get out of his enclosure.
I was like, hey, do you remember this with do you remember this? And she was like, no. And I was like, well, you said it during you were talking about it. You used it as an example. And she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, how do you not know what happened to Harambe? And like, why would you specifically say the Cincinnati Zoo if you don't know?
Yeah.
Like if you that was just weird. That was a really weird Freudian slip.
Yeah, that was. Because like everyone knows Harambe.
Yeah. She was asking the kid what he would do if a situation, and she described exactly what happened to Harambe. Notice how I'm not saying what happened to the kid in the enclosure.
Yeah.
That kid has blood on his hands.
Yep. When he's old enough to be on social media.
Oh, man. I kind of want to Google
Where is that kid now anyway?
Where is that kid? In the meantime, I think the Sesame Street cast's presence on social media is like kind of astounding to me. Because something else that's been trending is the hashtag help Big Bird.
Yeah.
And that, if you don't know, that premise is essentially Big Bird becomes tiny and you have to help guide him through Sesame Street to get big again. That was just crazy. That was unhinged.
Yeah.
Isaiah Dickerson. That's his name. Everybody go dox him. I'm kidding.
No, don't. That's illegal.
Oh, there's this football highlights on Huddle.
Dang, I can't find anything on the Harambe kid.
Let's Google Harambe kid and Google his name.
Isaiah Gregg. He's 10 years old. He is doing well academically and socially and enjoys playing video games and basketball.
Where are you reading that from?
I have no idea. Hold up. This article I'm seeing, Isaiah Gregg, who is 3 years old, was seen for the first time since he got out of prison. He was 3. He didn't directly kill Harambe. If anything, his parents would have gone to prison for reckless endangerment.
Yeah, it was not the kid's fault.
Parents were not charged with any crime after the investigation. What's happening? Are we... Is this like multiverse crossing over point or something.
Very well could be.
Like, that's weird though, right?
That's weird. There's
something weird going on.
There's something weird. Maybe there's just a billion Isaiah Dickerson, because it's a common name.
Yeah. Like, that's really weird.
Yeah.
Like, you would think that there would be at least something of someone like checking back in on them, or like some sort of major news report. But there's nothing. Like, the only thing is like from 2016 when he fell in.
Yeah. I had never seen the video before, and I just watched it, and I was like, oh my god. He wasn't doing anything. He was just pulling out his undies.
Oh no. Harambe was on the Epstein list?
He's on the flight list.
Oh no.
Harambe, no! Harambe for president 2024?
What? Honestly, I think he might do better than either of the two candidates.
Yeah, either of the freaking incumbents. Because technically they're both incumbents, if you want to get technical with it.
Yeah, technically. One just took a legally binding break.
One just had to take some time off to settle some legal disputes.
Yeah. Which may or may not have cost him millions of dollars already.
That's not enough.
Because there's one where he has to pay out to some lady for defamation.
That's crazy.
Which the payout was more than what they were actually asking for.
Waiting for?
Yeah, the jury was like, we think you deserve more money.
Dang.
Which seems a little weird to me, but whatever.
Yeah, the jury... That isn't for the jury to decide. That's for the judge to decide.
Yeah.
Like, the jury can recommend whatever they want, but...
Yeah.
Depending on what the judge implements, it's kind of crooked, but...
Yeah. Because that one judge from, like... It was one of the trials that was fairly recent. Like, I think he was pretty biased. Like, he was doing a whole bunch of like social media stuff with it as well.
Yeah.
I was like, that something seems off there.
Something is a little whack.
But I swear, we're not conspiracy theorists.
It's episode 6. If we were conspiracy theorists, we'd be on the watch list by now.
Alex Jones, what are you doing here?
Next week, I'll need to know what we're doing. Alex Jones, everybody.
And
his...
The frogs.
His frog theory. Whatever. When I was doing my legal studies minor at Olivet, I took a class called First Amendment and the American Democracy. And my final project was with a group. I was the only girl in the class. It was a group of 3 other guys. And our topic was like cancel culture, focusing on Alex Jones. And it was the most ridiculous presentation I'd ever been a part of.
Yeah. I mean, he was really in the wrong.
He was whacked out.
Especially with his thoughts on Columbine.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think he might have had a point with the frogs.
Hey, when we see the frog population start dropping, then we'll know.
Yeah. I mean, they are putting chemicals in the water, though. It's called fluoride.
It's a toothpaste.
It makes you healthy.
Or gay. One of the two.
Or both.
Ooh.
Or neither.
Makes you asexual. Asexual and angry.
It makes you die. If you don't drink water, you'll live. That's the real conspiracy. We're all addicted to water. And the withdrawal symptom causes us to die.
Oh my god.
Where's the tinfoil?
Gasp.
The aliens, they know I know too much. They're gonna come for me. They're gonna probe me.
Oh, we're gonna get demonetized for that.
Oh no, the aliens. Ah.
No, the aliens.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing.
Talk about ethical dilemmas, and then we're on Alex Jones conspiracy theories and aliens.
This episode is all over today.
We don't know what we're doing.
We don't know what we're doing. Oh, goodness gracious.
Every episode is like a mystery box.
Is it a good surprise inside or a bad one? You gotta listen to find out.
Yep. Hopefully it's a good surprise.
Hopefully I'll think it's a good surprise.
Yeah.
We try. We really try hard.
Yeah. Because we also try not to get fired.
Oh, wait, yeah. I was going to say we're our own bosses, but we're not our own bosses.
Nope.
We have both our public employees. So.
Yeah. We technically represent the people we work for.
You technically represent the whole Nazarene church.
Technically.
I just represent a stupid health department. I did not mean stupid. The health department is not stupid.
Wow.
No, dang, I'm getting fired for that one.
Well, I'm not editing that out.
Oh, man. Oh, I am screwed for that one. I just saw a video of Snoop Dogg smoking weed with a cop.
I saw that too earlier.
I love Twitter.
Yeah. I also hate it.
So Logan, tell me about this Cyberpunk 2077 lore coming true.
Well, I thoroughly enjoy Cyberpunk. It's a dystopian future, alternate future type stuff, dystopia, you know. Kind of cool, but also not in the slightest. You don't want this.
Yeah. You don't want it to happen IRL.
It's probably better than things like Terminator in terms of dystopian future.
Yeah.
However, there's no happy endings.
Nobody survives.
Everything is awful. And you might be feeling that way too sometimes in this crazy year, 2024.
Mm-hmm. That's been a month long.
Yeah, but there's a few things that have been happening in the real world that are kind of similar to some things that happen in the lore of Cyberpunk. Which Cyberpunk is also originally from the 80s. It was like a board game at first, and now it's been more popularized through things like Cyberpunk 2077 and the Edge Runners anime.
Which is very good.
Yes.
Very good anime.
But there's a few things that happen in the lore that we might be seeing right now happen. One of the things that kind of sets off a chain reaction a little bit is Texas leaving the United States of America. Which
not this again.
Which I swear they do this like every election year anyway.
They just get a little moody and then their period ends. But
But they seem to be serious about it again, wanting to leave. We'll see about that.
Honestly, what's an election cycle without a
Texas
threat of succession?
Yeah, for real. Welcome to American politics. But the main difference is that there was, in the cyberpunk world, there was like a gun control law or something that like completely banned like SMGs and assault rifles. And like if you are found to have had a gun at the scene of a crime or something, then you would be prosecuted as well. And so Texas was like, no, we're going to leave.
We're just not going to follow the law. We're just going to leave.
And then that causes a chain reaction and leads to a civil war in the United States. Speaking of Civil War, there's a movie called Civil War coming up this year.
Tough. Is it Avengers?
No.
Oh.
It's A24.
Oh.
I think. We'll see.
Very good studio.
We'll see what happens. And then another big thing in cyberpunk is that corporations own everything. Which
yeah,
they kind of do. Things like BlackRock and those megacorps. Which, funny thing, in the world of Cyberpunk 2077, in the year 2023, there's a character, Johnny Silverhand, played by Keanu Reeves. He goes to Arasaka Tower, which Arasaka is a huge megacorp. And then he nukes them.
Oof.
Which, power move, honestly.
That's the ultimate flex.
Yeah. But also, he does kind of die, but not before the megacorp can steal his soul. Just like they stole all of the farmland and the water and all of the resources.
I heard that. And all the water buffalo.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, goodness.
There's the Middle East, which Middle East has had conflict basically ever since the World Wars.
In the Middle East, yeah.
Because of the British. Sykes-Picot Agreement and whatnot. How they divided up the nations.
Which was very silly.
Yep.
To say the least.
Yep.
We need Jimmy Carter to come back and redo the Camp David Accords because
I mean, he's still around.
Yeah, but can he redo the Camp David Accords in his...
No.
No.
Oh, and there's also Woodrow Wilson. He kind of messed some stuff up. Yeah. But Middle East in cyberpunk lore, a lot of conflict, nuclear conflict. Also fuels Civil War stuff in America, causes things to go really, really bad. But there might be at least one semi-positive thing that's happening, depending on your spin of it. Elon Musk.
Oh, man. Nothing good ever comes from Elon Musk.
That's true. But he has another company, Neuralink. Which, according to Elon Musk, at least, they have successfully implanted one into a human, which I haven't found any actual evidence of that. So I don't know if that's true or not, or if it's just Elon being Elon.
Elon being Elon, telling lies.
Yeah. But in the cyberpunk lore, and honestly a lot of cyberpunk things, humans merge with machines, essentially.
Yep.
Cybernetic enhancements or chrome.
Modifications.
Chrome, as it's known in the cyberpunk world. So we might be headed there in the future. And there's also another piece of technology in at least Cyberpunk 2077. It's a little device called a brain dance, which name sounds kind of weird, I'll be honest. but it's essentially like a total immersive video where someone like records what they feel and everything, and then you can watch that back and feel what they felt. It's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like with the emergence of the Apple Vision Pro, we might be getting closer to something like that, because it's a pretty big step in virtual reality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
especially because it has like the spatial computing and spatial cameras as well.
Yeah, that's like it's like an actual perspective. It's not just putting on the goggles and
like 3D camera stuff and whatnot.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
Which has like never been achieved like outside of a post-production setting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But there's one more bad thing.
Oh no.
AI.
Oh man.
In the cyberpunk world,
oh good God,
there's a lot of rogue AIs that are kind of like in a quarantine zone on the internet, essentially, or what remains of the internet after a hacker destroyed it. And those AIs are malicious. And right now, AI is not that advanced, obviously. However, people are. People
are evil.
People are evil. And so we're already starting to see people use AI for very bad things. If you know what's been going on with Taylor Swift lately on Twitter, you might know. I don't want to go into too many details on that because it's honestly disgusting.
Yeah.
If you don't know, don't look it up.
Yeah.
But AI was used to recreate her image in a very negative way.
And like we can. It sucks to talk about. We can talk about it because deep faking has been happening for.
But this was like the first large scale, most
like
publicly
that targeted a celebrity.
Yeah.
Like I have a friend who, one of her ex-boyfriends who she was never even sexually active with made deep fake porn of her and like circulated around their hometown. So like this happens to real people, but
actual degenerate behavior.
Yes. And it does suck that it's only like really being an issue, like raised as an issue now because it happened to Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
More steps should be taken to protect people from this, not even just women, but males as well, because it goes both ways.
Yep.
And the thing, I get so frustrated with AI and debates about AI because it just, I personally feel quite helpless about it. Anything that I do is not going to change the state of AI in America. Anything a couple of podcasters talk about is not going to change the state of AI. AI is literally being legislated in Congress right now, which I think is just so ridiculous that we have a bicameral house of a bunch of old people trying to figure out what's happening on the internet.
Yeah. And the main reason that like Joe Biden is kind of afraid of AI is because of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning.
Yeah.
Because the villain in that is essentially an AI.
Yeah.
Like of all the things that AI has done, that's the thing.
That's the thing.
Okay. Which I don't think AI is even being used in that way right now.
No.
But it is a potential.
I don't know if it'll ever be as at least in academia circles, everybody is convinced that AI is going to take over like the writing process, take over all of intellectual space, all of intellectual content. No, it won't.
It's just plagiarism in a machine.
Yeah. And like nobody's going to let that happen.
Yeah. Like, have you seen the movie Wish by Disney?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, that content is like people are just going to avoid that content because it's poor and it's just a waste of their time.
Like humans, like, yeah, we do reuse content a lot, but like we still have different twists on it. We can make something original out of that.
Yeah.
AI can't do that.
Trope.
It just regurgitates stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe it shuffles it around a little bit. Like it just regurgitates things.
Yeah. No perspective. No continuity.
Yeah.
No sense of nuance. Like it's just. I don't think AI is anything really to be afraid of on an intellectual front.
No.
And I think you can obviously tell like the difference between like an AI image and an actual one.
Yeah, at least for now.
At least for now. And I think it is a moral issue. I don't think AI should be used to create deep fake porn of celebrities.
It shouldn't be used for that in the first place for anyone.
Porn should not be a thing in general because it's a whole ethical issue, and there's that could be a whole thing on its own. But like the dark web has always been a thing.
Yeah,
there have always been bad people on the internet using the internet. And just solving the issue of AI is not going to make the internet any much of a safer place.
No.
And it goes a lot deeper than that.
Yeah. Like
I think a lot of people are missing the point.
You can literally just go on Twitter and you'll see awful stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's Twitter.
Because Twitter isn't censored anymore because who cares?
My freedoms.
My personal expression is more important than empathy. But it's like having the common sense to not say something that is triggering to somebody, except that doesn't exist on the internet. No. The freedom of expression is not just saying whatever you want to say just because you want to say it. Yeah. It's expressing yourself in a productive manner that, I don't know, should be fulfilling.
Yeah.
You should feel proud of the way that you express yourself. And if you are proud that you are like triggering individuals, creating questionable content, attempting to destroy careers and destroy lives and warp worldviews, there's a deeper issue within you. You don't have any empathy. You're a sociopath.
Yeah.
That's a deeper issue. I just think AI debates are just so useless. Like bitching about how the writer's strike is all AI's fault is not going to solve the wealth disparity and pay inequality.
Which, funny thing about the like actors and writer strikes, SAG-AFTRA also has a voice actors guild in that. And
yes,
they recently signed a thing that allows AI use for voiceovers in video games.
Allows it?
Yeah. And apparently a lot of actual voice actors for video games knew nothing about it.
Man, that's... I know Richard Epcar is angry about that one.
Yeah. Which, for video games, it's a lot more work, and it takes a lot more for voiceover stuff. But, like, I don't think AI is at a place where it should be used for voiceover. Like, it just still doesn't quite sound right,
Yeah.
Like, it's essentially like those YouTube poops back in the day, where it's just people taking different parts of sounds and words, making their own sentences from that. That's essentially what it's doing.
So, God on Twitter posted, "Who is the Larry David of the Bible?" And then Saint Peter quote tweeted and said, "Obviously me," and attached an image of his inverse crucifixion. This is why I keep Twitter.
Oh boy, Twitter.
Mm.
And no, we're not going to call you X. You're still Twitter. Nope. I don't care how edgy you try to be, Twitter. You're still awful.
You're still awful.
Yeah.
Speaking of freedom of expression, though we talked about this a little bit earlier, but there's like social shifts and protests and things happening.
Yeah.
Again, still kind of like a little bit of a revival in certain parts of the country of this form of protest, which like I honestly don't think it is effective. I don't think it gets to a point where civil disobedience and peaceful protest only does so much.
Yeah.
And no oppressed group of people have ever overcame the oppressors by peaceful means. That just doesn't happen. But
Gandhi.
Love Gandhi. And I don't want to yeah.
That was more peaceful.
Yeah.
I think.
No, it isn't. And Gandhi himself is a questionable character, but
yeah, he was.
It wasn't.
But I don't know.
And again, you're the one who lives where this is happening, so I don't want to take your thunder and steal your perspective of it. But I feel like privileged populations who claim that they are disadvantaged do not get to use desperate protest for their agendas.
Yeah.
That you don't get to do that. Logan, if you want to elaborate what's happening, then go ahead.
So lately, very recently, there was a statue in Wichita, Kansas, where the statue was of Jackie Robinson, the famous African-American baseball player who broke the color barrier. Very influential, especially during that time in the MLB. And the statue of him was stolen from the park, was found dismantled and burned in a trash can.
That's an awesome place to put it.
Yeah. And if you look at the pictures of where the statue was, they didn't just like pick up the whole statue. They cut it off like at his feet.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but that statue is inside of the ball field in Wichita?
It's in a park. I don't know if it's inside the field area. I don't know like if they
like a stadium.
I don't know if they had to like trespass or not. But it is like right beside a baseball park area.
Yeah.
And the statue was about $50,000 and was installed in 2021. Very recently.
Okay.
But then again, it's an awful thing to do. Especially given that like he did play for the Kansas City Monarchs back when it's the Negro Leagues. That's what it's called. And there's a museum in Kansas City for that and everything as well.
Yeah.
It's like he has history in Kansas as well. I feel like if you're from Kansas, you know anything about him, I feel like you should be proud of him, given what he did.
Yeah. And the people who've done this have not been apprehended, have not been caught.
No, they have not been found at the moment of recording, at least.
Yeah, motive of recording not been apprehended. At the moment of recording,
they will be found, but I don't know if there's any security cameras in that area.
Yeah.
So.
And we don't know motive. We don't. For all we know, it can just be a bunch of hype beast teen. Or do we know motive, Logan?
I mean, we can kind of assume motive.
I know you can assume that,
but
it's a bunch of edgy hype beast supreme teenagers thinking that it's edgy and funny.
Andrew Tate teens.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah,
but yeah,
alpha male teens, even though
male teens,
they're
Sigma
not
male teens.
Yeah. But yeah,
effective protest should. That's why protest isn't as effective anymore. Is because populations who are not oppressed keep making a mockery of it.
Yeah.
And that's why certain demonstrations are not taken seriously anymore, and why groups are forced to escalate.
Yeah. Or the protest is just kind of seen as like an inconvenience.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the Just Stop Oil group in England and like the Europe area.
Yeah.
Which they're idiots in the first place. And they're 1,000% funded by big oil. Like they have to be. Yeah. They have to be. Like so much stuff
like an industry plant
dependent on oil.
Mm-hmm.
Like the paint that they're using, that's oil based. The clothes they wear,
that's oil.
That's oil based. It all comes from oil. Anything plastic you use, because of oil. Your phones, because of oil. Like
and so that's why like progressive parties get made fun of too, because
it's performative.
It's so easy to be a performative activist.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders has been doing it for decades, and every election cycle he's promising the same crap. And when people are desperate for change, you believe him.
Yeah.
And then he pulls out same time every cycle.
Yep. The exact same time as well.
The exact same time every cycle. Because it's all just a ploy to keep himself relevant.
Yep.
I don't know. It's just I've been jaded so many times that I don't think moderate political stances are relevant anymore, or I think they're obsolete. If you stand for nothing, you fall for everything. So
it's like Aaron Burr.
Yeah. Like you can't have politics without extremism. You can't just be lukewarm in your stance. You know, that's not how things happen.
Yeah.
And even if you don't want the progressive doesn't just mean like the liberal agenda. Like
yeah, and I do think you can be like progressive without being like left or right, you know?
Yeah. Just like progressive, you just want to see the advancement of your fellow man. And you can be progressive with more conservative economic ideals, and then more liberal. Like it's really not as American politics have never been as black and white as they want you to think it is. It's never just two parties.
No.
The bicameral legislator is lying to you.
Yep. Two parties, one bird.
Yeah. Yep.
Politics is dumb. But they're important.
Politics is dumb. Yeah, because there is no other way to be active in what goes on in your world besides being in politics.
Yeah.
And representation is such a sham.
Yep.
Your representatives do not truly represent you unless you're calling and petitioning and bugging them
constantly.
Because it only takes it can take months to build up a rapport with your congressman, and then 2 seconds of lobbying destroys that.
Yep. Because money.
Messed up.
Yeah.
I think we should get rid of money, but Because money only has the value that we ascribe to it.
Yeah.
You know, stocks are fake. Crypto isn't real.
You know, grain used to be currency.
Yeah.
Which I don't think that would work very well in today's society.
No. But that just goes to show it doesn't, because we changed it.
Yeah.
We chose to change it.
Because like grain had actual value because like it's can be used for food.
Mm-hmm.
Bread.
I always, whenever I watch Pocahontas, I'm always taken by the part where John Smith is telling Pocahontas about harvesting the gold, and then Pocahontas is like,
but you can't
she's like,
eat
she's like, I know where the gold is, and she pulls up some corn, and John Smith is like, no, that's not gold, this is gold. And she's like, but you can't eat it.
Yeah.
And like gold to her was something like tactile and useful, and gold to the Brits were just, it was just,
well, their currency.
It's a decorative thing. Yeah. And like Pocahontas's currency ensured her survival. John Smith's currency was her folly.
Yeah. Because like the advancement of currency was like a more useful base. Like, is this something I can use that also shows like how well off I am? And then, so that would be like your grains, your cows, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then we transitioned to mineral-based currency, which would be like gold value.
Preach.
Your currency is based on gold or other precious metals. And then after that, we've moved past that now in modern day. And so now it's economic currency, which the value of the dollar is the value of the dollar. It's not based on anything at all besides the value of the dollar. Which is just a bizarre concept.
Yeah. Like the value of a dollar is just abstract. It's not what the dollar does. It's what we conceive of the dollar.
Like if you can just indefinitely print more of that, then it has no actual value.
Which is like so ridiculous because
it's all artificial.
If we never have enough money, just make more.
Yeah. But then by having more money, that money would then become useless.
Because it's less rare and it's less easily to be monopolized. Yeah.
We never should have left the grain standard.
No.
Or even the gold standard. Because then it would like have some sort of value.
You're right.
Like, oh, a dollar is this percent of gold.
This dollar will benefit me this much.
Yeah. $1 is worth this much gold.
Yeah.
Like that's essentially what it was. And then Nixon.
Nixon just messed things up for everybody.
Yeah. A lot of presidents have messed things up for a lot of people.
He's just having a goofy, silly moment.
Yeah. Like if you thought Donald Trump or Joe Biden was bad, I feel like just America has a hot streak of having bad presidents. It's just kind of a thing we do.
Yeah. You just elect bad people.
Andrew Jackson. Oof. Trail of Tears.
You really just let him do that.
Yeah, we let him do that. And I think he also beat up someone, like in the Senate or something, with his cane. Yeah, he was a violent man. And then
maybe he just needed some therapy.
I think a lot of them did. Even George Washington had faults.
And like, he had no teeth.
Slavery. Okay. Which his teeth, his fake teeth, he had slave teeth in his dentures.
Shut up. I did not know that.
For real.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Oh my word. Oh my lord.
It's like, oh. Oh. Maybe shoot. Don't do that, George.
George, let's take a step back, maybe.
Why didn't you put that at the start of your exhibit? Why'd you have to put that at the end?
Oh my gosh. One time, at Olivet, I took a field trip to Springfield, and we walked through like the Lincoln Museum. That's crazy.
Cool.
That's
Lincoln
cool.
is crazy. Lincoln was cool.
Lincoln was chill. He was okay.
He might have not really cared what happens to the slave community after he freed them. He only really freed them in order to win the war, but that's not relevant, you know.
At least he freed them, I guess. Oh my goodness.
Because he wanted to win the Civil War by any means necessary.
Any means. He probably...
We burned the entire South.
Yay! Yay, Roger Sherman! Woo! Woo.
Love that man.
Love that guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Woodrow Wilson.
Oh man.
He had really bad. He had really bad policies when it came to global policies, which before World War I and Woodrow Wilson, America was an isolationist country. We kept out of the business of the world. And then we helped out a little bit in World War I. And then World War II happened.
Yeah.
And a beast was awakened that has never slumbered since.
Oh my god.
We can thank Japan for that.
Thanks, Japan. Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Because I honestly don't think the United States would have gotten involved in World War II had we not been attacked.
Yeah.
And then they sunk some boats.
They sunk some boats.
And you don't mess with the U.S. with the U.S. Navy.
Oh my god. Yeah. That's crazy. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I feel like they did not have to use.
We might have used some excessive force.
Yeah, I feel like they did not need to use.
We definitely didn't need to use two. I don't think.
No. And then we just bombed civilians as collective punishment, But
then again, we had to end that very quickly because the only other option was the land invasion of Japan because they would not surrender.
Yeah.
Because honor.
Honor your... dishonor on your family and dishonor on your cow.
Yeah.
Kidding, that's Mulan. It's China. That's not Japan. I'm not insular, guys. I know the difference.
But I don't know, well, I think the first one was for Japan. The second one was to prove to Russia that we had multiple. I think that's what it was. Because the Cold War.
Russia at that point.
We weren't at war with them. We were allies with them at that time.
Preach.
It's a lot easier to get out of war crimes when you're at war with that country.
Yeah.
Especially if you win. But yeah, we've had quite a few bad presidents.
Yeah. We can do a whole episode on bad presidents.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. And that's when we announce that we're both running for president.
As we're both not 35.
Yep.
combined, we're like, what?
44 or something like that.
Something like that.
Close enough.
44 is pretty good.
I mean,
I think what needs to happen is that being the president needs to stop being the capstone of a political career and needs to be seen as the cornerstone of a political career. Like, you need to go on. You need to be president when you're young enough to be confident.
Yeah.
And then young enough to continue your career in a relevant way when the presidency is over.
Mm-hmm. Or just go do something else.
Or just do something else.
Yeah.
Like, you should not sit in the presidency until you die.
Yeah. Because I'm young. I don't necessarily want to say that I would do a better job than our current president.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like it wouldn't be that hard. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But also, I know nothing about what all goes into it, so
yeah,
maybe I would start World War III.
It's like Oopsies. On accident, unwittingly.
Yeah, I would slap the wrong person.
You would send the atomic bomb on the wrong country.
But there are a lot of political people that sometimes I feel like they just need a little slap, you know?
Yeah.
Just a little backhand.
Yeah. Just a little. Remember who your constituents are, and then kick them in the balls.
Or we fire everyone.
That's true.
Massive election. And then
massive election.
Every 2 years or whatever, there's a big election. And that ends up kicking a lot of people out. It's like a whole actual new House of Representatives.
Do you think that 4 years is too long for a term and it should be shorter, or do you think 4 years is adequate?
For the president, I think that's adequate.
Okay.
And I think 2 terms max for president is good. I think 1 term for Senate, because that's 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably like 3 terms for House. Or everyone has 4-year terms.
Mm-hmm.
2 terms max.
Just make it universal.
Yeah.
What about the Supreme Court?
Same. Yeah.
And they should probably be like staggered, so you don't have an entire court leaving at the same time.
The court would be staggered, I feel like.
Yeah.
Maybe give them a couple more terms. Maybe have them do like 4 terms. 4 terms of 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because like that is a larger position, I think. Because for like a judge, that's like the capstone.
Yeah, judging, that's a sequential evolvement of a law career. You know, you can't get any more law than a judge.
Yeah. A Supreme Court judge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe just like they get 20 years on it.
It's like, who the hell actually wants to be a judge on the Supreme Court for 20 years?
Yeah. Like that's so much work and stress.
That is so much. Like, I don't know.
Money.
And money. It's just money. And probably paying legal staff to write legal briefs and decisions because you don't want to do it yourself anymore. Which is why, that's my theory about why the decision that overturned Roe v. Wade this summer got leaked was because legal staff had it.
Yeah.
And they leaked it. And then the case should have been a freaking mistrial because that's bad jurisprudence. But whatever.
Oopsie.
And nobody cares.
Yeah. Well, anyway. Deep red states care.
They care for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Abortion is, I think it's still a touchy subject.
Yeah. I think it always will be a touchy subject, but there's just other clauses that were not implicated in Roe, like medical privacy, protection in a hospital environment. That's really important in like domestic violence situations. So when they overturned Roe v. Wade, they did more than just take away the uncodified implication that you cannot legislate against abortions.
Yeah, because there were, I believe, a few like legal things where like it was either the mother's life or the child's life.
Yeah.
When it comes to miscarriages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But because of Roe v. Wade getting overturned, they didn't know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And when doctors can be held culpable for some kind of crime when they're performing medical care for the sake of saving the mother.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's because if we're in a situation like that anyway, 9 out of 10 cases, that child is not going to survive.
Yeah.
Outside of the womb for long.
And if they do, there's a high likelihood that they would not have a very high quality of life.
Yeah. And like obviously there are exceptions.
Yes, obviously. Every case is different.
Yes. And that's why these things can't be legislated. You cannot just have a hard rule for every scenario because every scenario is so different. And children cannot survive without their mother anyway.
No.
You know, so like when she's gone, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Because, like, yes, if the father's still in the picture, great, but that connection is not as life-giving in the initial stages, like infancy.
It's a lot harder.
You can't breastfeed if you're a man.
I mean, sorry to disappoint
you. No. You're not supposed to.
I don't.
Can't do men lactate?
I don't know.
I'm just going to assume no because there's not a lot of estrogen in there.
Yeah. I mean, all men have nipples.
Yeah. Well, that's because all men started out as females.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know.
But anyway.
I'm not smart enough to figure that out.
Why do men have nipples?
Because we were made in the image of God, and God has nipples.
Yay! Everybody throw a shot back for God's nipples. Woo! I love how we always find our way back to heresy.
Yeah. That'll definitely not get me in trouble at work.
Whenever my boss and I have like any kind of like conversation about anything that's not work related, he always talks about my quote unquote faith background, and he loves to bring up my faith background, but not actually talking about what that faith background is and just saying faith background. Let me get.
Okay.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the last thing we kind of had on the docket to talk about was, how do I present this? So in the greater Kankakee area, if anyone is listening to this is from this area, or if you're not from this area, then you're going to learn that there was a boil warning for about like 2.5 days at the beginning of this week.
Rip.
So January 28th, 29th, and 30th. Mass panic. Mass hysteria. Like it was crazy. Everywhere was sold out of water. And
not again.
So not again. Just like with this stupid toilet paper in the COVID days. Like I don't know what it is, but like specifically upper middle class suburban America that just go into freak out mode.
Yeah. It happens every time there's like a big storm as well, especially in winter.
Yes.
Like, oh, we're going to get snowed in for 5 weeks. Buckle down.
And then you don't get snowed in.
Yeah. Like, oh, it's a little icy. But like, yeah. Just don't go outside for a day or two. It'll clear up.
And I was like, I think that's indicative of like the deep-seated fear of losing it all, because most of the people who exist in the middle class / upper middle class did not start there. So they have that context and socialization of uneasiness and the possibility of failure in a financial sense. Like a financial Armageddon. Like if anything happens, they're back to they're out of their mortgaged house and they're living on the streets, kind of a thing. Like there is such a fear of being without that it leads to overconsumption.
Yeah.
In every sense of the term.
Modern
and like
America.
The ultra rich don't worry about this.
No.
Because obviously they have millions of cases of water hoarded up anyway.
They have nuclear bunkers.
Replace cases of water with millions of dollars if you want. It's the same sentence.
Yeah.
And then you have the lower classes who never had it in the first place.
Yeah.
And they were probably still drinking sink water during the boil warning because that's just what they had, and it was fine.
Yep.
That's the kind of that's the context that I grew up in, except kind of a little bit different. I lived on the farm with well water, and we were just not allowed to drink it anyway because we couldn't afford to filter it. But yeah, there's just always a mass panic when you put somebody's quality of life and comfort at risk. And it's like funny to me because the same people who react that way want to impact other populations' quality of life in a negative way.
Yeah.
So it's ironic to me.
I also think that we see a bit more of the panic in older populations, like the baby boomers. I feel like younger people don't get that panic as much.
Yeah.
Mainly because we don't have as much to lose.
And I feel like we're because of COVID, we're desensitized to. Because of COVID and because we grew up with a new tragedy on the news every week, we're desensitized to tragedy.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So,
but it is very interesting seeing generational sociology and psychology.
Yeah.
How each generation is very different in society.
And there's like an abandonment of traditional societal roles between age groups. So as the boomers get older and they need alphas to take care of them, alphas are refusing to take care of them.
Well, alphas are Skibidi Toilet, Riz.
Oh, wait, I got that wrong.
iPad Kid.
I honestly, the generational terms are just absolute crap to me.
Yeah. They don't mean anything.
There's no way I'm in the same generation as somebody who was born in 98 and someone who was born in 2011.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No, it's crazy.
Like, I think the generational splits are like baby boomers are like the first 10, 15 years after World War II. Because that's when the baby boom happened.
Yeah. And World War II was still having a huge impact on their life, even like in the 70s.
Yeah. And then I think Gen X is probably like 60s to about 80s or so.
Okay. I'll take it. Yeah.
And then millennials are people that were essentially like young, but old enough to really remember like the turn of the century, the turn of the millennium, like Y2K and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Which would be like the 80s to like 2000 or so. Like late 90s. And then Gen Z is
Zoomers.
Right before 9/11 till like honestly 2010. I feel like.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Maybe a little bit after, closer to the pandemic.
It's just hard for me to think or like compartmentalize myself in the same generation as someone who's 10 years younger than me.
Yeah.
Because I have no idea how a 13-year-old exists in this world. Yeah. I know how I existed as a 13-year-old. And I know it's probably way different.
Yeah, like how am I in the same generation as the kids that were in the Tide Pod Challenge? Like, huh?
Like, huh? Like, yeah, I joked about eating Tide Pods, but I actually do it? No.
Which I also think that in between each generation, there's transitional generations.
Okay.
So there's people that are between boomers and Gen X.
Okay.
There's between Gen X and millennials. Millennials and Gen Z and Gen Alpha. So for us, those would be people born in like the 2010s or so. That transitional time that happens like after the main part of a generation happens and before the next one starts.
Great. Like the in-betweeners.
Yeah. So for Gen Z, the in-betweeners would be like the people born like right around the year 2000. And then at the other end, it would be people born in the few years before COVID. Those are the transitional bookends for at least Gen Z.
Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, no, I'll take that. That seems... Because, yeah, the fact of the matter is that I think like yes, COVID-19 marked our lives, but in a different way than like 9/11. Like we grew up in the aftermath of 9/11. Yeah. We lived through the aftermath of COVID-19, and we're still living through it, but we're not necessarily coming of age in that context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like we grew up in the direct aftermath of 9/11.
Yeah.
Whether or not we realized it at the time.
Yeah.
And then COVID-19 happened. The main part of Gen Z was in high school, leaving high school, or just starting college. That's where the main chunk of Gen Z was at the time.
Yeah.
Old enough to understand more things about how the world works, understand what was actually happening. Gen Alpha didn't really have that much of a grasp on it.
Right. Because their ideas of how the world works were not gained through experience, they were gained through COVID-19.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the way the world worked did change. So if they were learning the ways before they were lost,
they forgot it.
It's like a second lost generation, maybe.
Yeah. I could definitely see Gen Alpha being like another silent generation or something. Or just kind of like a generation that might end up getting forgotten.
Like so severely traumatized that they just fade away or something. Yeah.
Because I do think a lot of them are going to have a lot of trauma to work through when they get older. Like a lot.
Yeah, and the way they're coping with it now is
not
a trauma
good.
response and creating more trauma. Yeah.
Like kind of
And
reserving oneself in like entertainment and pleasure, essentially, which is like iPads.
The consumerism response of 9/11 is coming back in response to COVID-19.
Yeah.
Like using consumerism to cope, and then like your life is still voidless when that consumerism is over, so you go out and consume more. But it's not fulfilling.
Yeah. It's very interesting how that has changed since the Great Depression as well. Because that would be the inciting incident for the silent generation, I believe.
Yeah.
The Great Depression.
Right. It's interesting how consumerism is such a gift then, because you couldn't.
Yeah.
But it still is causing the downfall of two different generations in two different contexts. And frankly, the opposite applications.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I honestly don't know like what Gen Z will end up being as our generation comes into the workforce and politics and everything.
Yeah, I'm honestly horrified of people my age being in Congress.
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe I'm not as hopeful as I should be, but I feel like it's pretty bleak.
Yeah. I do think that each generation does have a choice of what type of generation they become, though.
Yeah.
I don't think that's set in stone by destiny or whatever.
No, yeah.
Because we have free will.
Yep. Like we do have a say. We don't have a say in what happens to us, but we have a say in how we respond to it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And that response is going to be telling of what happens to us in adulthood.
Or even how you respond to things happening as adults, as you enter like middle age and everything. Because we both saw how a lot of the baby boomers' response was when we were growing up to a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us kind of learned from that, and we don't want to be like how a lot of that was portrayed, at least.
Yeah. We have examples of what we don't want to follow.
And then we can look at the next generation and kind of see how we don't want to raise the generation that we'll end up raising.
Yep, that is very true.
That's an important thing for generations to understand, that you need to look back at the other generations, see how you want to respond to things, and then look forward to the next generation to see how you do or don't want to raise the next generation that you will raise.
Yeah.
Like, we can't divide ourselves on generational lines. We kind of all have to work together.
Yeah. And that's how, like, when you bridge those generational gaps.
Yeah.
That's the solidarity that protects each other.
And
ensures that we're both mutually taken care of.
And
that's biblical. That's from the book of Ruth.
Yeah. This is what the bookend generations are for.
Yeah.
The people that are on the ends of each generation are the ones that bring those generations together.
It's just a natural mediation.
We solve sociology.
Sociology is done.
We did it.
Boom. We did it, Joe.
We have solved the ethical dilemma.
Oh my. The ethical dilemma has been solved.
We've done it.
For the time being.
For now.
For now. Until next week.
Until the next generation defining event.
Until the next international tragedy.
In like 16 years or whatever.
Oh my God. They conveniently happen in 16s.
It's like every 20 years.
Yeah.
Like 9/11, 2001.
Uh-huh.
About 20 years later was COVID.
Yep.
20 years before 9/11, there was a lot of economic stuff in the 80s.
Mm-hmm. AIDS.
Yep. That.
60s was Vietnam.
Yep. And
40s
then
was
World War II.
Uh-huh.
20s.
Great Depression.
1900s, World War I.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
So be prepared for 2040.
2040 is going to be a blast.
Yeah.
But
I'll be 38 that year.
I'll be 40. But I won't turn 40 until August of 2040.
Oh.
Oh, good
I'm not
Lord.
looking forward to that.
What? I can't even imagine myself as a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. How many kids am I gonna have? Will they be 10-year-olds when I'm 40, or will they be college kids?
That depends.
Hopefully not college kids. I don't want to have babies anytime soon. I don't know. This is so random. I'm so conflicted between like the aesthetic of being a young mom and like the practicality or lack thereof of being a younger mom, you know?
Yeah.
But like I want to be like near enough in age to my kids, especially my daughters.
Yeah.
Because I want to be there. I want to be their friends.
But you don't want to be like too close to their age, obviously.
Yeah.
Because like you're their mom.
Yeah.
Authority.
Authority is important. I don't know. I've already been booking into being the mean parent, and I don't like that.
Yeah. I don't think anyone wants to be the mean parent.
I don't want to be the rule parent.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. Well, that was a loaded show.
Yeah.
But
we're actually getting close to 2 hours on the recording.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, at least after all of that, we know that we have Elmo's check-in to look forward to.
Yeah.
And if there is no other light at the end of the tunnel, then it is Elmo. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I will live to see another day as long as I get to tell Elmo how I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elmo should partner with some sort of online therapy.
Like BetterHelp or something.
Yeah. Maybe not BetterHelp. I don't trust them.
Just BetterHelp.
Yeah.
Maybe mental health first aid. They're a government not subsidy, but they're a partner with the White House. So maybe
988.
Ooh, 988 would be good.
Yeah.
Elmo and 988. Yeah. Elmo picks up the phone and you just hear. See you.
Do you think that would work? Like, if they just had like Elmo on
just
that?
The Muppets manning the suicide hotlines. Oh my god.
The mental health crisis hotlines.
Oh my gosh. That would be amazing or an absolute disaster. Oh my god. Hi-ho!
Miss Piggy.
You pick up the phone and Ned Flanders answers and says, "Howdy-ho, neighborino."
Peter Griffin answers.
Oh my god.
I don't think that would be a good thing.
No, if Peter answered, I would have a crisis with him on the phone.
Yeah. Joe Swanson.
Oh my god. That would probably save me. He would tell the inspirational story of how he fell off the roof on Christmas Day or something when he was a cop and
broke his legs.
Was injured. Yeah.
Became paralyzed.
Yeah. And then like he would tell that story thinking that it's like super inspirational, but it's actually just really depressing.
Yeah.
And doesn't help at all. Brian would not be any help at all. Just absolutely not.
No.
I have hope for Stewie though. I think Stewie could.
Definitely not Meg.
No, not Meg. Meg would be calling the hotline.
Yeah.
Lois would probably think that it's like a sex line.
Yeah.
You know, like those yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There's an episode of Rocko's Modern Life where Rocko is trying to find a job and he's working at a chow line, but he doesn't know.
Oh.
So he's like reading the script in like very monotone. He's saying like, "Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby." And then it's like a Jim from The Office shot of him just looking at the camera like confused as all get out because he does not know what the heck he just said.
Dang. That's funny.
I love Rocko's Modern Life. It's such a good show.
Yeah. We'll have to do like a nostalgia episode.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah. Maybe during Trauma Month.
Trauma Month is a very dangerous month.
Yep. Oh boy.
All right, friends. Well, I think probably the next episode
will be something.
Some more Super Bowl hype for you.
Yep. Next episode will be something. We'll see.
We'll have some Grammys tea probably. Yeah.
Maybe we'll actually do our little segments by next episode. Book review, movie review.
Planned for. Yeah, it's good to have them planned for a bit. Yeah.
Maybe at some point we could make like Instagram reels or something for those.
Yeah, that would be cool.
If it's like a little short one.
Like pictures of the books and stuff.
Yeah. Maybe. We'll have to think about that.
Look at us brainstorming, letting our listeners in on our creative process.
Yeah, it's what we do.
Well, that is what we do, but we also don't really know what we're doing. Come back next week and maybe we'll all know what we're doing just a little bit better, but probably not.
No, we won't.
Because if we did, then we wouldn't really have a podcast.
Yeah. We really wouldn't.
If you don't know what you're doing, you're not alone. And with that being said, my name is Kailee.
My name is Logan.
And we don't know what we're doing. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
And we'll see you next week. Bye.